Hello and welcome to this video. This is part 1 on how to learn and how to play in the Hall of the Mountain King by Edvard Grieg. This is the 4th movement in Grieg's Peer Gynt Suite number 1, Opus 46. And I have the link. You simply click on the link near this video or below this video, and you can get the sheet music for this. This is Grieg's own transcription. So this is the official transcription by Grieg. It is a really exciting piece. It is moderately difficult, so depending on how fast you play it, the slower you play it, of course, the less difficult it will be. And it consists of 4 pages, so you should print out the 4 pages. And the first thing that you should do is number the measures. Number the measures. So this is measure 1, measure 6, measure 10, 14, 18. And then on the second page, measure 22, measure 26, measure 30, 34, 38. On the second. Now on the third page we have measure 42, 45, measure 48, 52, 56, and 60. Then going on to the fourth page we have measure 64, 68, 72, 76, 81, and measure 85. There should be a total of 88 measures at the end, so you know that you're numbering them correctly. This is the first thing you should always do when learning a piece of music. First thing is, of course, you print it out if it's not in a book, and you number the measures like this. If the editor supplies measure numbers, then that's fine. If not, it's always a good idea to number the measures. Then you can use these in your lessons with your own piano teacher. If they want to refer to a measure, let's say if you have a lesson over the internet, like over Zoom or Skype, then you can refer to measure numbers here. So much easier, and you can find those quickly. And the second thing you need to do when learning a new piece is, after you number the measures, is go through the piece, look through the piece, and sort of see if you can figure out the overall form of the piece. So in this particular piece, we have, if you look at the first page, you have a little introduction with an octave here. Then you have the whole first page, and the top line of the second page is what I would call the A section. For any lack of better terms, I call that the A section. So I put a capital letter A, and it's with a circle around it. If you want to, you can also get a colored pen, like the highlighters, and maybe highlight that a different color if you'd like. And in measure 26 here on the second page, I would, for any lack of better term, I would just call this the B section. It basically, it's not different material. He uses the same melody, but he uses it a little bit differently and has a different left hand. So that's what we would call the B section. And going on to the third page, the top of the third page is what I'm just calling the C section. So I put a capital letter C with a circle around it here. That's in measure 42, and that goes on. And it changes here in measure 50 to something different, but I'm just going to include that in the C section since it's so short, since otherwise the C section will only be like 8 measures long. So we're going to call this the C section on the third page, and then we're going to go and measure 66, which is the third measure of the fourth page. We'll just call this the D section for any lack of a better term. And then from there to the end, it's sort of almost like a coda section. It's All of this material is pretty much the same, but Grieg embellishes it differently and has slightly different bass lines that he uses. It's a really exciting piece, and if you're familiar with it, you'll remember that it starts moderate in tempo. It's not too fast in the beginning, and then it steadily increases in tempo from the beginning to the end. So it's actually rare. There aren't very many pieces that really do that, but it steadily increases in tempo to the end. What I like to do, personally, is I like to play the A section at a certain speed, and that speed is about 108 per quarter note. So it's not particularly fast because there aren't any 16th notes. And then what I like to do is, when I get to measure 26 in the B section, I like to just increase the speed just a little bit. So I like to go to about quarter note equals 126 here when I reach the B section. So it's not a lot faster, just a little bit faster. And then the same thing happens when you get to the C section. When you get to the C section here on the third page, I like to increase the tempo to 144 per quarter note. That's the same as 72 per half note. So we're going up the tempo scale here. So this gets a little faster. Then I like to increase it even more when I get to measure 50, where he says più vivo, more fast or faster. I like to increase the speed to about 84 per half note. And bear in mind that these are not exact. You know, when I play this, I'm not exactly at 84 and exactly at 72, but I like to practice sometimes with the metronome, and it will, you know, once you get used to it, you can be pretty close to those tempi. And then, so 84 at the più vivo, pretty much stays like that. And then one more increase in speed on the D section, on the fourth page here, the D section, one more little increase in speed here. I like to go to about maybe half note equals 96 from here to the end. And you can get even faster if you want from here to the end, but that's pretty fast already. So what you have is you don't have, the way I like to do it, is you don't just start from the beginning and gradually get faster to the end, but you have sections. Like the A section is one tempo, it's the slowest tempo. The B section is a little faster, the C section is a little faster, and then the D section is the fastest. And that way, it, you know, proportionally sort of speeds up through the piece, and it doesn't get overwhelmingly too fast. Like I heard a recording of this recently where the pianist gets too fast too soon. So if you get too fast too soon, like let's say if you're on page 3 and you're only about on measure 42, like on page 3, and you're already like at, say, the tempo that you would do at the very end, well, that's too fast too soon. So part of the trick of this work is pacing yourself and not getting too fast too soon, but just doing it sequentially through the piece. Now, for the sake of this tutorial, I am not going to speed up. So we're just going to take it as if it's all in one speed, and then it will be your responsibility to work on it to try to increase the speed gradually through each of the sections. That's what I would suggest. So let's start here in the Hall of the Mountain King. It's in the key of B minor. It simply starts on an F sharp octave here. You remember, it's pianissimo with a little accent. So pianissimo with a little accent would be sort of like maybe a piano. And you just want to hold that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 4 to 5 counts. Then it goes way down here. And let me just tell you what the left-hand notes are. I know that a lot of pianists who have trouble reading music really have problems with all these ledger lines here. It's okay to write in the letters. It's okay to do that. So the first thing I would do is write in B, right here, B. And this is an F sharp right here. You could write F if you want, but just remember that it's a sharp. So you're going from the lowest B to an F sharp, a fifth above that. So B, F sharp, B, F, B, F, B, F, B, F, B, F. Now it changes. In measure 5, it goes from D to A. So D to A. And you can, I would write that in. Write in D, write in A, D, A. Then it goes back to B and F, or F sharp. B, F, B, F, B, F, B, F, B, F, B, F. Now we get D again, and then A, D, A. Then it goes, now it goes to F sharp and C sharp. So we have an F sharp and a C sharp. Write it in, and write in F, and write in C. And then the next measure, measure 11, we have D, A. And the first two notes are D, A sharp, actually. And then we have an F sharp and a C sharp. Write those in. D, A sharp, F sharp, C sharp. We have an F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, C sharp. D, A sharp, F sharp, C sharp, F. Then we go back to the F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, C sharp. And then we have a D. I wrote the wrong letter there. In measure 15, that should be a D, and then an A sharp, that is, D, A sharp, and then F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, C sharp, D, right in the D there again, and then A sharp, and then we have an F sharp, C sharp, and then F, C, F, C, F, C, F, C, F, C, F, C, and then we have D, A. Write those in, those are different, D, A, and then we have a D, A again there. And then we're on the second page, we have B, F, B, F, B, F, B, F, B, and that's a B right there. So we have a very low B, the very lowest B, which is here. Then we have a B an octave above that here, and then it just goes down a scale. It goes down the natural minor scale here. B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B. So when you get to measure 26, the very lowest note is a B right there. It's really important that you write these in. It's okay to write in the note names. It's not bad to do that. I know that some piano teachers say, oh, never write in note names. That's what little kids do. But I would disagree with that. It's okay to do that, especially when you have a lot of ledger lines. So let's look at the first page now and just play the left hand. We're gonna go down here to this B right here. Those first two measures, I would play 5 and 2. And now when you get to measure 5, use 3. They have 4. You can either use 4-1 or 3-1. I like to use 3 because it's closer to 5 here. We're in measure 6. Now we're in measure 7. Measure. But now after that, Then we're going to up to F sharp, C sharp. With the fingers, I would do 3 1 3 1. That's what they have. 3 1 3 1. Then 5 on D, 2 on A sharp, 3 1 5, and then 3 1 3 1, and then 5 2 3 1. Sorry, 3 1. We're in measure 14 now. 3. I'm sorry. We have a D, an A sharp, and then an F sharp, and a C sharp, and then an F C, F C, D, A, F, C. Now we go back to B in measure 18. And now we're on that scale. So I would play 5, 1, 2, and then probably 1 here is best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5. So we have... No, actually I take that back. Go 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually a couple different ways you could finger that scale going down. So you want to figure out what fingers are best for you for that B minor scale going down like that. It's actually harder just to do the left hand than it is to do the right hand with the left hand, because the right hand has some more notes in there that implies the harmonies, which we should all know. So I'm going to put the metronome on here. I'm going to put it on 72. And we're going to play just the left hand from the beginning up to measure 25. Focus on the staccato. Short, 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 short. Very soft and short. Sorry, going to go down to B. So there we have that. If you're having problems hearing those notes, then what you should do is practice them an octave higher. If you practice all of them an octave higher, then you can actually hear them easier. Sometimes it's hard to actually distinguish the notes when they're that low. So it's okay just for your ear purposes, and you're making the notes out, it's okay to do it an octave higher. Now let's look at the right hand. So the right hand, you know, this is kind of difficult because it's way down here. So you have to lean your torso that way a little bit. So lean, don't scoot over in your chair, but just lean to the left with your torso, and we're gonna put our thumb on that B there. I like this fingering. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. Or you can do this. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4. I kind of like the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You can also, if you want, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's something that I like better about playing F sharp to D either with 3, 1 or 4, 2 rather than using a 5-finger position there. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Measure 6. Get those accents. And Grieg writes an octave here, but I don't think it's necessary to play that A. So I like to just leave that A out. Now we're on F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 1, and then either 4, 2, 4 or 3, 2, 3. I kind of like 3, 2, 3. And try not to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you can if you want, but I like the feel better of opening up the hand, putting the thumb on B, and not having to be locked into a 5-finger position. So I like to do that. I use 4, 2, 4 and measure 11. 4, 2, 4, 3, 2, 3. Notice how I'm bringing those accents out, even when you're first learning it. Even when you're sight reading it, make sure you bring those notes out, the accents. Once again, Grieg adds that C sharp there. I like to omit it because I like it better that way. But you can play that C if you want. Now it goes back in measure 18 down to the bottom B. Now 1. There we have the A section with just the right hand. So you've learned your left hand notes. You've learned your right hand notes. And now, actually no, before we put them together, I was going to say put them together, but before we put them together, let's play the right hand with the metronome. You can just give that a little extra time. Now, going down to this B. This is 72 on the metronome. Ready, play. I noticed that I played a little different fingering than I gave you. I played 3-1-3, 4-2-4, and I went 3-1-3, which is fine. You can either go 4-2-4 and then 4-2-4 again, or you could go 4-2-4, 3-1-3. It really doesn't matter. So this is a really good example of it's not going to really make any difference at all what fingers you play, just as long as you do it the right way, as long as they sound good. So nobody cares about your fingering unless something sounds not right. If something doesn't sound right about it, then it's possible that your fingering could be contributing to it not sounding right for some reason. But that's the topic of another video. Now, we've done our left hand, we've done our right hand, and now we're going to do hands together at 72 on the metronome. 4, 5. I like to hold that 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, also use pedal. Use pedal on that so you can get down here and you don't have to cut it off. Measure 26. And also a good tip is always land on the downbeat of the next section. So I'm going to play the last 2 measures of the A section here. Don't just end there, but go, because it's in B minor, so you want to end in that B minor, end with that B. And then you'll be ready to go on when we work on the B section. So it's very important that you keep your wrists high, keep your thumbs at an angle. Don't play with flat thumbs. I say that a lot. Bring your thumbs up. If you bring your thumbs up, it will help to keep your wrists higher, and it will help to keep the sound smoother and softer. So you want high wrists, you don't want flat hands and flat wrists. You want sort of high wrists that hover above the keyboard. And that's going to help you get control and keep it really soft. So that's a slow tempo, that's 72, but once you know the notes and the fingerings, then you can gradually speed up. And like I said before, My ideal tempo for this first section is 108. And that's what I tried to do in my recent recording of this on YouTube. So you can try to work towards 108 if you can on the A section. And if you stay tuned, we will begin with measure 26 and the B section in part 2.